First showcased during the Devastation of Rotterdam trailer, Battlefield 5's iteration of the FG-42 is unlocked upon reaching support class rank 16, and has boasted some of the greatest killing potential of all support weapons since release. But is it any good? Today, we are going to be reviewing the FG-42, giving a brief overview of the weapon's history, highlighting some of its most prominent statistics, and discussing how this manifests within actual gameplay. Timestamps, as always, will be available in the video description, and if you have any suggestions for future videos yourself, please feel free to leave them down in the comments section below. But with that out of the way, let's get right into it. The Fallschirmjägergewehr 1942, or colloquially the FG-42, is a selective fire automatic rifle produced by Mauser during the Second World War. Developed specifically for the German Fallschirmjäger airborne infantry, the rifle was produced in limited numbers and would not see use until the Gran Sasso raid of September 1943. Combining the characteristics and firepower of a light machine gun within a considerably lighter form factor, the weapon was designed to address a desperate need of German paratroopers, a heavy firearm that could be attached directly to one's parachute harness. Such a requirement would be demonstrated explicitly during the Battle of Crete, where the Fallschirmjäger, equipped with only small arms to facilitate a safe drop, would suffer heavy casualties while attempting to retrieve heavy equipment such as rifles and machine guns from airdrops. While the FG-42 was unique and addressed the needs of the Luftwaffe, the weapon's drawbacks, most notably its high cost to manufacture and tendency to become unstable due to the side-mounted magazine, resulted in the rifle failing to see mass production and standardized use. However, the weapon would see some use in the Vietnam War, likely supplied to the Vietnamese communists by the USSR in order to aid the war against the US. From a statistical perspective, the FG-42 shares much in common with the automatic rifles available to the assault class. Dealing 25.1 damage per bullet up to around 10 meters, the weapon's damage drops to 15 per bullet past 75 meters. Combining this damage model with its 670 round per minute fire rate, the rifle boasts some of the best time to kill figures amongst support weapons, capable of downing enemies in between 0.27 and 0.54 of a second. Pair this with a fairly zippy 740 meters per second bullet velocity, and the FG-42 presents as a rather intriguing primary for aggressive support players looking to mature past their shotgun slinging youth. What holds this weapon back, I may hear you ask? Well, the answer is pretty obvious to anyone who has used it before. Magazine capacity. The FG-42 holds only 20 rounds per magazine, and while this is made up for by the weapon's 2.25 second tactical and 3.45 second empty reload, it does still leave a sour taste in the mouth of players who bite off a little more than they can chew when aggressing an objective. As for recoil, the weapon is neither unruly nor as light as a feather in its stock configuration, although it can be greatly improved via the rifle's available specializations. With that in mind, I prefer to run the FG-42 with quick aim, the barrel bedding, the ported barrel, and the lightened stock. The goal of this setup is to ensure the rifle remains as snappy as possible while sliding and jumping from cover to cover, all while improving the weapon's consistency in the form of reduced horizontal recoil and improved accuracy while stationary. The support is the bulkiest of Battlefield 5's 4 infantry classes. This is reinforced by DICE's introduction of the MMGs into the franchise, large, unwieldy behemoths that prevent you from aiming down sights unless braced by Mother Gaia's caress. They did not leave the support completely devoid of more intrepid machinery though, thanks to the inclusion of shotguns and LMGs. Amongst this group of lighter machine guns, two stand out as both unique and semi-controversial inclusions. The FG-42 and BAR M1918A2 perform much more similarly to the automatic rifles of the assault class, and thus fulfill a much more important niche than most realise within the game balance of Battlefield 5. Imagine the balance of this titular shooter as a string with weapons slotted in at segments that represent their ideal playstyle and engagement distances. The two rifles would fall right about here, somewhere between the Sturmgewehr 1.5 and the other LMGs within their class. They represent a medium otherwise unavailable to the bulky support, whereby players are able to get into the action more readily than otherwise allowed by the hand dealt to them. Taking this theoretical string and balance talk into account, when assessing the FG42, one cannot discuss its strengths and limitations without comparing it to its counterpart, the BAR M1918A2. Statistically, the two are incredibly similar, with the FG trading some of the BAR's blistering kill potential for controllability and consistency across inputs. With this in mind, in my opinion, one's experience and impression of the FG42 would be greatly shaped by their ability to control recoil and the chosen input of their system. i.e., the discussion can be centered around controller versus mouse and keyboard. I know, it's a lazy point to make, but just hear me out for a second. From the perspective of someone like myself, a slightly above average PC player who was able to enjoy the fruits of the just pull down mentality, utilizing a weapon like the BAR is far from a daunting endeavour. For me, the recoil is controllable, and my aim, particularly at a distance, does not heavily suffer. Therefore, in a head-to-head matchup, I would pick the BAR 9 times out of 10, as the difference in time to kill makes a huge difference when attempting to compete with slimy skinwalkers who only use the Type 2A. You know who you are. However, if we shift our perspective to that of your more average Battlefield player, the console player, or the chill guy on the server who simply wants to lean back in his chair and mess around with a more aggressive option for the support class, to this individual, the FG42 is an incredibly enticing option. The rifle, in practice, has an incredibly controllable recoil pattern that offers a very similar gaming experience to that of the Sturmgewehr 1.5, albeit with 10 less bullets. The FG is smooth in your hands, unwavering in the presence of a surprise enemy, unflinching at the sound of approaching footsteps, and yet it remains a deadly option in both close-quartered and medium-range combat. Factor in its equipped bipod and some gentle taps of the trigger, and you've got a weapon that can still hold its own and suppress incoming troops with shocking effectiveness. The only, and I really do mean the only two things holding this weapon back from being one of, if not the best option available to the support class, is its magazine capacity and the existence of the BAR. 20 rounds is a really small number of bullets, especially for a class renowned for its ammo conservation. In theory, it's enough to engage 3 to 4 targets per magazine, but theory rarely exists within the chaos of the battlefield. Reality tells you that you will be reloading this rifle between every kill or two. Reality says you will miss a couple bullets on a spray transfer, and you will die due to running out of ammunition. Reality will be your biggest opponent when using this rifle. And when fighting reality, what would you rather? A quicker time to kill, or a little less recoil? For me, the answer is easy. But it's a lot tougher of a question to others than they may know. Despite this, the FG42 is truly an amazing weapon to use on the battlefront, and has been a guilty pleasure of mine since picking it up. While I do not believe it is as good as the BAR, the fact that it is held within the same breath as a weapon so deadly is a testament to its ability to perform. All in all, I give the FG42 a low 8 out of 10. Cheers for making it to the end of the video, guys. What do you think of the FG42? Do you agree with my assessment? Let me know down in the comments section below. If you liked the video, please like the video and subscribe with post notifications turned on so you don't miss the next weapon review. Anyways, thank you all again for watching. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.